Now that electric vehicles have been on sale in South Africa for a few years now, the novelty of the instant power and the silent progress has slightly worn off. And I think that's a good thing, because it allows us to focus on more important elements such as practicality. Here we have the new Mercedes-Benz EQE, and I think this is the perfect vehicle for us to see the everyday livability of an electric car. So, when it comes to luggage space, us journos often speak about liters, but we don't really realize that speaking in liters doesn't really mean much for the average consumer. So I will tell you that this car does have 515 liters, but instead of just telling you, let me rather show you by doing the boot test. Well, I best get packing. So the EQE has successfully passed the box test. But let's up the ante. We all know it's one thing to be able to put boxes in the back of the car, but what happens when you put living creatures such as pets? Well, we happen to have dogs, and one of the most important things for us is how do these dogs fit at the back of the boot? Well, as you can see, we have successfully loaded 60 kilograms worth of dog into the back, and I am as excited as they are excited to now see how we're going to do on the walk. Careful, 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 careful. Cool. Normally we love to have absolute silence, and in fact an electric car like this is usually the king of silence, but as you can see in this scenario, you are hearing a lot of excited dogs. So when it comes to electric car reviews, we usually focus quite a bit of our attention on power and instant torque. So to humor those who want to know about the power figures, this vehicle produces 215 kilowatts and 765 Newton meters, which, as you can imagine, is a lot. It's an astonishing amount of power and torque. But when you think about it, having all that instant power becomes quite irrelevant when you're shuttling kids, dogs. In fact, instant power like that for the passengers can become quite uncomfortable for them as they experience this on and off sensation when the torque kicks in. This has got to be one of the most comfortable electric vehicles that I've driven in a long time. The north of Joburg is riddled with potholes. This car soaks up these potholes and these bumps and the crevices that you find on the road quite easily. But it's not about what I think. Billy, Finn, what do you guys think? Do you enjoy how comfortable this car is? Well, judging by your screaming earlier on, I would say yes. This vehicle does come equipped with a 90.5 kilowatt hour battery, which in battery terms is huge. And as a result, you have got a claimed range figure of over 500 kilometers, which is very good. Another factor that is quite important when it comes to the practical nature of a car such as this is the dashboard layout. And I'm very happy to tell you that this large touchscreen is quite easy to use. So when it comes to the ergonomics of this car, it truly does work. It is very big in here, and I feel that there's a lot of space. But in terms of the SUV element, this car feels a little bit low in my opinion. Electric cars, because they're quite heavy and because the battery's set at the bottom, from a performance perspective, they generally feel quite dynamic. You can take corners quite confidently in an electric car, and it's exactly the case in this vehicle. When we started reviewing electric vehicles, the two words that we said the most were range anxiety. And today, a lot has changed. Vehicles such as this exist, which give you more than 500 kilometers of range, and to me, that is plenty for day-to-day use and even a long weekend away. So just like that, we were successfully able to take these pooches out to the park in the Mercedes-Benz EQE. Now, considering the range, considering the comfort and the practicality of an electric car such as this, we can really see that they've come a long way in South Africa. The only problem is, in order to own a vehicle such as this, you have to be really rich.